Hello again, world. Welcome back to the show. Woo! It's been a month since I've posted anything really, and we are thrashed. We are working so hard, and there's so much going on, and it really is coming to crunch time. I think the whole Gaia's ascension, the splits, that big mystic moment that's supposed to come up. It's due fairly soon for a number of very, very big reasons. Because we are seeing a lot of the precursors. We're seeing a lot of activity of the kind we have not seen before, of the sorts of things that are going on that um, defy description. And not just one or two, but like sequences which are major changes in what is happening for Earth. Now, the next thing I will publish should be this, if it's not here already, and it's about who the true identity of our enemy. What we've really gotten on top of is that the mantoids, the greys, the reptilians, and the demons are not four different armies, but in fact one army. And who is at the top of that food chain and how they're doing what they're doing is in this talk. So please hold on to your hats for that one. I went to a conference at the beginning of May to share this, and I recruited a whole nother team, so we've got even more people working for this effort. And the beauty of it is that the organic timeline is winning. The future that we want is coming, is stepping into being. And we're just watching the wild and crazy death throes of the dark side before it gets booted off this planet. But I will explain more about this. And this particular video that we're watching today is about one of those monsters called Yaldaboath. Now, I'm not sure everybody's heard of Yaldabaoth, but Lucifer's scared of him. As we were working against him this week, Lucifer, how do I say it? Shat his pants, seeing what we were doing to him. So I'm confident and comfortable that, and this is one of the major lieutenants of our enemy. Now, the first time that I encountered Yaldabaoth was a request. I was living somewhere, I knew another mystic, and she phoned me up and she says, "Oh man, I crossed swords with this demon as nothing like I've ever seen, and it slapped me around really badly." I went, okay, I'll look into it. And the first time I went up against it, it knocked me back. It sat me on my behind, and I lay on the bed with my eyes rolling around my head for a couple of days after that one. He really slapped me about. But me being me, I don't like that very much. So then I got up and went after him, and I kicked the stuffing out of him. Now he has, we estimate, somewhere up towards maybe even of 1 million replicas of himself. He is a being of pure mind. He has no emotion, and this is why he's able to act differently from all the other demons. This is why that first conversation, we thought that he was actually an imported species. We thought he was like a non-local to Earth, because his construct was different, his methodology was different. He was just like nothing either of us had seen before. So we're both a little disconcerted by that. And but yeah, he's a being of pure mind, and he is pure trickster energy. He is playing both sides of every game. And we think he's been here for several million, oh well, for all of known history, to be honest. His favorite thing to do, one of Yaldabaoth's favorite things to do is to be in the ear of one king and another to make sure they go to war together. He's and he does, and not just on a national scale, but on smaller scales, day in, day out. As we were going through this piece of work, we found that cancer was his idea. And if for you guys who remember the little ribbon, there was probably going to be a picture of it here, the little cancer ribbon. What he's showing us actually is that he's managed to twist and then bind together DNA, and it does something it's not supposed to do. and that's something it's not supposed to do, becomes bloody cancer. So he's proud of that, along with biological weapons that he's proud of creating. Jesus, so much the other night when we were talking about it. But I am exhausted. But I will tell you exactly what happened, because it's an even bigger story than what I've been sharing with you. It's just the outline. The actual detail of it goes a little bit like this. One of our team was feeling particularly weak and, dare I say, beaten, astrally slapped around. And so we looked into what was going on with her, and we found that she had been targeted by a number of different teams on the dark side. And now she is what we call a galactic historian. What does that mean? And it's significant. It's significant. You see, if you go back to that, mystical question, that Taoist question, if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? And the question is, it's one of the witness, the astral travel concept of the witness. You see, nothing occurs on the astral planes unless there is somebody to witness it, unless somebody noticed it and logged it in their mind as that has occurred. And so this is how the records of the universe update themselves. It's a perfectly biological computer. And every time something gets updated, it gets witnessed by somebody, then it gets logged back at Central. Now, so in astral travel terms, if a tree falls in the woods and there's nobody there to see it, does it ever make a sound? And the answer is no. The tree never falls until there's somebody there to hear it. In fact, if the tree wants to fall, it's going to wait for somebody to show up and see it fall for it to be logged as fallen, and then it can go through its own progression of whatever kind it's trying. Anyway, that's a little bit of astral travel theory for you. But the reason why a galactic historian is important is because they are a deposit of the memories of the galaxy. Like they are, and they're on tour, they're here on Earth to upload some of the wildest data that's going on right now. There's some crazy, crazy stuff happening here. And again, if you watch my hour lecture on who our enemy really is, like this becomes so much more significant. And I really implore you to take a little bit of time to watch that. Yes, so these several teams of nefarious characters would enter her dream space and would steal a memory, would steal like a data packet. And in biological terms, these are held in crystals. I'm going to talk about crystals. If I'm talking about crystals, what I'm actually talking about is probably very analogous to one of these, a little thumb drive. Because data is held in non-physical crystalline structure. I don't want to overcomplicate things for you, but these bad guys were stealing her memories in the form of crystals, and they had done it they'd hit her and given her a negative health effect. And so at the age of 21, when they basically ransacked her mind, she had an aneurysm and was hospitalized for quite some time. And it took her months, if not years, to rehabilitate her personality. Doesn't that suck? But, these guys act with impunity and they don't care who they hurt along the way. So that's what happened to her. However, what we had found was that we found those guys and 4 other teams. She had been hit. They were in the process of hitting her the 5th time, which is what called me in to see what was going on with her, so that I could have a look. And there's not many who are as strong at anti-demon work as me. And so I went there and I found the leader of the team and taught him a lesson. Recovered 6 of those crystals. His team had each stolen a crystal as well. Because the crystals are directly aligned with source and fuel can be sucked from them. And so these guys were living basically on the energy that they'd stolen from my friend. So, there was only about 10 or 12 in the team, but I recovered about 24, I'm going to say 24 crystals from memory from that team. However, the other 4 teams had stolen a total of 256 crystals. 256 banks of memory, 256 shelves of the library might be another way to call it. And so one by one, I took each of these, and these are dark special forces. This is their absolute elite. Like, you can't go after a galactic historian gently. You have to be a master demon. And these were their toughest guys. But again, their 5 teams, I combed through them all and recovered all of the crystals and dissolved each of them. However, here's the thing. Those 5 teams were given orders to do the same thing by somebody. And this is where the story circles around with that somebody was Yaldaboath. Yeah. So we found the one who tasked them with slowly but surely cutting a galactic historian to pieces. Why would you do that? Because if the record for what happened on Earth, if the story was stolen, then they can replace it with whatever story they want. And basically, the story would go, Yaldabaoth is king of this, Yaldabaoth is king of that, Yaldabaoth is king of this, Yaldabaoth is king of that, and give him all of the authority and position that his massive, massive ego could match. And Yaldabaoth would become lord of our world, if perhaps if they succeeded in this effort. However, our team found out about their little game, and it got sorted out quick, smart. And Yaldabaoth, once we caught, I found that version of him. Now he has up to 1 million replicas of himself, so that he can do everything he wants to do. And he has no center to attack. He has, so if you take out 1, 2, 25 of his apparitions, of his mimics or replicas, then it doesn't lose much. It's not a big deal. He could just build some more to replace them. But what we did, there is a hive mind within him. And so what I did was I grabbed one version of him and then called in all of the other versions from around the galaxy, from around Earth, I should say, into his single replica within an astral trap box. Now, he's a smart guy. He's pure mind, pure deviousness, pure underhandedness. He's cunning as a snake. And we still managed to trap him because we did something really, really cool. We built a 7-dimensional maze for him, made out of mirrors. And it was so, and it shifts constantly. It looks like liquid from the outside, but if Yaldabaoth is condensed into one being and he is forced to see 5 million reflections of himself through 7 dimensions, it is a trap that he will never escape. Now, I say tentatively that he is defeated because it's early days in this story yet. We don't know. We'll wait till we'll see him again. Now, also in the last 24 hours, I went looking for him again, and as usual, he had a couple of fail-safe apparitions of himself, where he had deactivated himself but seeded himself, so that in the event like this, where he gets a proper beatdown, his saved version of himself can power up and be reactivated and start acting again. Now, I caught 2 of those in the last 24 hours. I expect that there will be more. I can't say for sure because they're hidden from me. I don't find them until they're activated. So I say this tentatively, that a demon lord who scares the bejesus out of Lucifer and Satan has been tentatively defeated. He has suffered a beatdown of a type he hasn't seen for millennia. And so long as I can stay on top of this, I'm sure that he will not recover. And he is one of the primary lieutenants. He is one of the primary agents of our true enemy. Now, watch that video. I'm going to say it again. Watch the video, please, because it nominates who the real problem on Earth is. Now, if you watched all this way, I'm hoping that you'll find me entertaining enough that you'll like the video, subscribe to the channel, and all of the other jazz. Now, for those of you who don't know me and know what I do, I run several teams of astral travelers, and one of the things we're very, very good at is exorcism, which and all mental health issues are the result of demonic interference. So if you're not getting the results that you would hope for from your mental health professionals, get in touch. All that aside, yeah, like and subscribe to the channel. Contact me if for all demon-related problems. Love to all, and may the force be with you. Bye for now.